The Empowerment Show aims to equip individuals with the necessary tools, knowledge, and confidence to make informed decisions and take control of their lives. It also focuses on ensuring access to essential resources and the opportunities.
All right, good evening. Well, today we're going to have a Thursday edition of the Empowerment Show. We got a young man. He's going to bring himself on. His name is Chris, and he's got a lot to say about some things here or there. And I like to ask him a few questions about a few things. He is a young man. And when I say young, he's in his 20s. So there's been a little disparity going on between the elders and the youth. And the elders feel as they're not being respected, and the youth feels as though they're not being respected. It seems to be a back and forth respect thing. So I'm asking Chris to come on. He's going to be my co-host today, but we're going to have a conversation. I like to start it off and kick it off to talk about what's going on with the youth and what's going on with the youth as far as with the elders and as far as church is concerned. I noticed that there seems to be a lack of the youth wanting to be involved in the church nowadays. And I wonder why that is and where that's coming from. All right. My name is Kendall Stevenson. This is the Empowerment Show. So thank you guys for tuning in. And usually the way we start the show off is being grateful for something, showing some gratitude for something. So, my father was in the hospital. We talked about that. And my niece, she's doing much better. But I like to say a prayer to my brother, who's been down in Florida for quite a while, trying to deal with my niece situation. So if anyone wants to say a prayer for my niece or for my brother, it's always grateful and appreciated. So we're going to start the show off with this young man and see what he got to say. Let me see now. Is he at the door? Oh, I think he's at the door. I think it's time to bring that. Oh, he's bringing on that door. Hey, let go of that door. Yo, brother, there you go. Hey, what's happening?
Hey there, Kendall. How's it going?
Hey, man.
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
Glad to see you here. I'm glad that you decided to come on. And today we're gonna do the jammy with the co-hosts, and let's get your people to tune in and hope that they enjoy things that you have to say and what type of conversation that you feel you want to talk about. I did introduce today. I was talking about the youth and the elders.
Yeah,
and just kind of disparity. It just seems like the youth feel that they don't want to give their respect to the elders, and the elders feel like they don't get any respect from the youth. Mm-hmm. What's happening, bro?
I don't know. I think it's just a general lack of empathy between both parties. You can't tell a young person anything because they think they know it all. And then you can't tell an old person anything because they have done it all in a sense. So it's kind of that disconnect where you don't have to kind of be the most knowledgeable person in the room. You could just instead lend that ear. People don't want to listen. People just want to talk. I've noticed that if you're an active listener, or I've always heard this term, you have two ears, you have one mouth. So, twice, you should be listening twice as much, speaking once. So that's kind of where I'm feeling that people are going. But then the people that are younger just want to make a name for themselves as well. So I think it's that as well.
I'm very much into the old African traditions, and even from the Southern traditions of the youth, they always listen to the elders. Do you listen to the elders? Are they the ones that guide you? Because I understand you're involved in so many different things, especially when it comes to the church. Do you have elders there that guide you and help you along with what you want to do?
Oh, for sure. I'm definitely someone who believes like you can't get ahead if you don't listen and value the information that comes before you. So those who have already been in your shoes, those who are already, who have already paved that way, it's kind of like, why would you make it harder on yourself if you can lean on someone? Now, I know a lot of people kind of have that mentality that you have to be independent, that you have to be just strong-willed and, make your name for yourself by yourself. But you can just ask questions, have that respect, have that open-mindedness that comes with leaning on someone who's older than you. There's definitely people in church that I listen to from my godmother to the pastor to my god brother who's like head deacon. So it's just, if I want to progress, then I definitely need to listen and take that guidance.
Yeah, me being an elder myself. One of the things that I feel that I must do is I must lead by example. Now, the examples of the elders of my generation, I think they're lacking a little bit. I think that they're actually not giving the youth their just due. I mean, I was a young man at one time. I understand what it is. I know it all. Been there. I know it. I know it. I know it. You know, teenagers know everything. You ask them a question. I know. Well, and honestly, we didn't know. And as we got older, we're supposed to gain this wisdom. And then the way I was taught is that you're supposed to give this wisdom and give it on to the youth. But something happened along in the, for what I can see, somewhere around in the 90s, the atmosphere started to change. The hip hop music, it kind of grew. It grew into a point where it just became violent. It wasn't entertaining anymore. It became, they talked about a lot of sex, a lot of sexual innuendos, a lot of the gang bangers with the misuse of language, so forth. And the elders kind of sat back, to me, and allowed this to go on. You see, that this what they call freedom of speech, that you can say and do all. But the only people that seems to be allowed to do this kind of things, where they just discriminate against themselves, they segregate their women, they utilize a lot of the profanity, a lot of violence. I mean, other than rock, I haven't seen any other kind of music that allows that to go on and happen. Yeah. See, so I think that's kind of, for me. I'm saying, I'm just my point of view. And when we were growing up, when I was growing up, we had Shaft and we had Superfly, and we emulated those guys. So I don't see why the youth of today won't emulate those guys there. Those are the guys, the Ice Cubes and those cats in there.
Well, I kind of think, well, obviously, I was born in 97, so I didn't know too much of what's going up in the 90s. However, I would say what I've heard and, what I've seen in video or read, is kind of a time of rebellion. It was kind of a time of rebellion, and people wanted to have their voices heard. But if you don't have people to listen to you, then the only way you can have them listen to you is by saying the most outlandish things, because then you are listening, and obviously the message is not always the most appropriate one, probably not even the one that you want to get out, but you just want to be heard. You just want your story to be heard.
So you're saying that we should be more profane so that we could be more profound?
I like the alliteration, but I wouldn't say that. I would say, if you do have someone who perhaps is being profane, I wouldn't just turn your back on them saying, hey, this is a knucklehead, they don't know what they're talking about, this and a third. Ask them, why do they use that choice of language? Why are you using this subject matter instead of something else? Like, I know you may not be on the block all the time. You can't be, but why is that your avenue that you're trying to list, that you're trying to promote, because some people think as though that's the only thing that they care about. They see me, they see my skin. That's all that there is. So perhaps we just need to have a bit more of some patience and to listen up to what they're saying.
Well, again, like I said, I'm not trying to say anything bad about rap or put it down, because I was here when rap first started, but I just noticed that the trend and how things have changed. I'm back in the day when rap first started, it was the voice of the people. It was actually the people that would the things that were taking place in our community. You had the Black Panthers that came in. We were living impoverished, and a lot of the slums were up, and these people, they came out and they talked about what was going on. The Public Enemies. You ever heard of them?
Yeah.
These guys, they came out and they talked about what was going on in the streets. They talked about politics. They talked about these things. And the other rappers that weren't so conscious, it was more fun. And it sounded like fun. And then all of a sudden it's flipped. And all of a sudden it just became more and more violent. So, like I said, I understand. I only brought that up because I understand that you're into the rap scene. You like to do that, but you do it on a different scale. You do it more on a gospel side. Why don't
Yeah,
you talk a little bit about that?
I would say because the last time I was on your show, I talked about how I hadn't thought about making music at all. I was just a poet by nature, if you will, just writing poetry in my notebooks or on my phone and a notes app. And then my friend said that he wanted to start rapping, and he had this open verse, and I said, "Oh, one of my poems goes right in there." Now, over the years, they have been a bit more on the profane side, I guess, and not because I'm not out here gangbanging or doing any of that. It's just the language that I am kind of used to, or what I've been surrounded with. But more so nowadays, as I get closer to God, as I continue to progress in my faith, it's kind of been switching in a sense to what is probably what we need, and what the youth probably need. I write songs not just for me, but for a church. I actually have a song that we'll be performing this Sunday at the Youth Explosion that I wrote for them. So it's just about kind of getting in where you fit in a sense. And yeah, that's where my music has been taking me.
I just want to give a shout out to Cheryl, which is Sherrod Ford.
Oh yeah, Sherrod, yeah.
We just want to give a shout out and thank you for tuning in. Please subscribe. Hope you enjoy the show, because this young man will be on. He'll be on more often, and he's going to have his own show. So listen up, please listen up. Now, we were talking about you why with the rap thing that you're doing now. You do it differently. We talked about how you're doing it with you're using the Lord or gospel music in order to do this. So what you're trying to do, what I believe you're trying to do, as we spoke earlier, is that you're trying to be a person that leads by example, not someone that follows. Because if we follow the trend, you'll be doing what do they call that music nowadays? Trap music. You'll be doing that stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
when I listen to that's just pornography in the ear. That's what I hear. I hear oral pornography. And you were talking about you're primarily a poet. Just to let you know that back in Africa, when we were back there, we had these guys. They were poets. You know what they called them? They called them storytellers.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right. And what these people were able to do, they were able to give you information from their ancestors and to pass that on from one generation to the next generation to the next generation. Again, we're back to the elders again. So if the elders are doing right and the elders are doing the right thing, then we can teach and we can lead by example to keep you guys not so much in line. That's not the term I want to mean, but to keep you maybe focused.
Yeah, give you something to aspire to, I would say. Because if you don't know your history, then you're going to try to do anything to make your own history. And going back to what you mentioned about how things kind of flipped a bit more violently, I think, though, at that time, more so people were seen, especially Black and brown people, they were seen as though violence sells. Violence is, violence, sex, money. That is what was interesting coming from us, when that's not all we are. And we know that, however, as people who were kind of on the poor side or didn't have the most advantages, we're trying to make that lane. So going the route of the money, sex, and violence kind of works. And then maybe if you get there, then you can try to switch up. But then once you're there, I think it is kind of hard to then transform yourself. Because there's many artists who have started out, more profane and now want to make different kinds of music. And it's kind of hard for them to step out and have their fan base kind of follow them. So I think that's where I am trying to figure out where I am and whose fan base I need or where I'm trying to reach. But ultimately, it just has to be right with me, right with God, and I just keep it pushing.
I'll use the Jesus anatomy. or his term.
Mhm.
He was a person that reaches the masses.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I love to see. What you if you can do that with your music. My man was just telling me that about the conditions in the neighborhood, and that the rap music they actually champion. They help us to get out of it. You see, now I can agree with that to a point.
Hmm.
Along with the rap music, when it started to change, the attitude of the neighborhood started to change, the youth. Now, this is what I saw during the Black Panther era, when even after that, when we were into more of a black movement thing, the type of music that came out and the rap that came out was very conscious. Now,
Right.
as time started to change and the people got into the gangster stuff, now if you looked out in the street, these kids they didn't want to learn math. They
Hmm.
walked around with a book and they were writing down these lyrics and what they wanted to grow up to be. They wanted to inspire to be these rappers.
Hmm.
So to me, what ended up happening is at one point you had uh, art imitating life, and what it turned into more is life imitating art. Because these rapper gangster guys, they weren't a lot of them were not really gangsters. They didn't know anything about the street. They didn't know anything about what it was to be poor. Like, these guys had money in their pocket, born with a silver spoon, but yet they were telling you to go get a gun so you can go sell some drugs to make some money.
Exactly. And that's what was selling
And,
that.
and that's what I got the problem with, because a lot of the youth today, they follow behind that. They listen
Hmm.
to that. I shouldn't say a lot, but enough so that we got jails that are filling up, and we got homicides that were happening left and right. I know the crime rate is down, and
Hmm.
I'm glad that the crime rate is down. But me personally, I would like to see us maybe take another turn in this. I would love to see kids want to grow up to be like you.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, don't laugh, man. I have a lot of respect for you.
I appreciate
As an
that.
elder myself, I have children in your age group. What are you, 20? What?
28.
28. I have a son that's 28 years old. He's an entrepreneur, very intelligent, very bright young man. And people like you, the next generation that's coming up, see, you're going to be the elder one day.
Exactly.
Now, when you become this elder, what are you going to have to give to the youth?
Right.
Dig what I'm saying?
Hmm. Yeah, and that's something I think about all the time. That's why when you said you want them to grow up to be like me, I kind of chuckled because I know that I'm not perfect, and it's kind of something that I struggle with all the time. Like I'm in Sunday school, trying to tell the kids how to do this, giving them these lyrics that promote, positivity and living their best life and doing what God wants you to do. And I just kind of find myself, torn because although I am, saying all this, I'm still on my own journey of trying to be at that same place.
All right.
So it does seem on the outside, that I'm living this good life and I know I'm doing right in a sense, but I feel as though right now I'm not that person that needs to be emulated yet. But then again, I feel as though I am having a positive impact on my youth. So it's kind of that
This is what I
balance
can
I'm
tell
trying
you,
to find.
bro. No, nobody here is perfect, man.
Mhm.
None of us are perfect. We didn't start out perfect. We're not going to end up perfect. But it's what we do while we're here.
Right.
Martin Luther King, I mean, he was a great man, but he wasn't perfect.
Yep.
Mahatma Gandhi, he wasn't perfect. He wasn't perfect. So just be the best man that you can be. The best man that you can be. And that's what will be relayed. That's what will be transmitted down to the youth. You
Right.
understand? And
Yep.
and they'll respect you for it. Hold your ground. Have principles.
Mhm.
I don't use the N word, not at all. I think it's a word that shouldn't be in our vocabulary. That's the language of the slave master, and we shouldn't be using it. Okay, but a lot of people do.
Right.
But because I don't, my children don't, and maybe their friends won't. You
Yeah.
understand? And they know that when they come in my household, you have to show respect when you get in here.
Yeah. You
Just
got to
like
be
when they
that
come
change
into
you want to
your
see.
household. when they come into your church, this is all about a matter of respect. We conduct ourselves in a certain way. If you conduct yourself in a certain way, that kid is watching what you do. Now, he's not watching what you say. He's watching what you do. So now we go back to this. You have to lead by example. Jewel, I see you. I see you. Thank you very much for tuning in. It's 6/17. How about that? That's the date of my birthday. And
nice.
I'm very glad that you're tuned in. Please subscribe. Okay, but we're gonna have to take a quick little break here because I still got to pay the bills. So hang on. We'll be back on the other side. All right. Peace.
Hi, we're Chantel Davis and Brian Davis. We own Willie Mays Place and Legacy Lines Winery, located in Gilbert, Pennsylvania. We're open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner and wine flights and really delicious Southern comfort food. Come and join us. We'll happily seat you, your family. We have a beautiful farm-to-table garden as well as 2 therapy donkeys named Freedom and Friar Tuck that you're welcome to come and visit. Give us a call if you have any questions or would like to make a reservation, and we look forward to seeing you.
I'm gonna tell you, anybody who has not gone to that restaurant, shame on you. Okay, because if you love Southern cuisine, oh my, I'm just letting you know. I'm not being biased or anything, but I have eaten there. I've eaten there a few times, and I'm gonna tell you, we don't have a lot of soul food restaurants in this area. Regardless, there's a couple of this, a sprinkle of that. So, you know, you guys reach out and support. If you're in the Gilbert area, it's right off of 209. Big sign, Willie Mays. Go on in and have yourself a good meal. Now let me ride back to you again, my man.
That was a good spiel right there.
While you're on the show here, all right, let's talk about what you plan on doing. What do you plan on bringing to the show?
Bringing to the show. I think I'll be bringing. It's actually, when you presented me with this opportunity, it's definitely the furthest thing from my mind, to be honest. I kind of just try to put my head down and do what I think I should be doing. But God has a way of presenting you with opportunities here and there that just shift your whole perspective. So what I can bring is, I guess, a younger perspective, that in between perspective, since I talked with those who are older than me, and I'm still leading those who are a bit younger than me. I can see what they care about, while also trying to bring together this, I guess you would say, network or coalition of light bringers, in a sense, that kind of shine in their own ways, whether it's from community engagement, from helping the earth, helping people to people, and just, of course, being rooted in Christ. So I'm thinking that's where I'll be able to take this, and make it grow.
This is what I like to ask again. Do the youth today, do you think they're getting involved in politics, or you think that they should? Especially look at the environment that we're in right now, the ish that we're in right now, and a lot of people that could have voted didn't vote.
Right.
What was it, like 8 million people didn't vote? That's a big number, high number. What do you think about politics? Do you think maybe you want to incorporate some political views in there?
Well, I definitely could, because I have these discussions with my friends all the time. And the fact that you say not a lot of people voted, I understand that, but I'm not sure it's all on the youth either, because they are getting more and more frustrated. And again, that's where the whole sentiment of they're not being heard, they're not being listened to, because they want change. They want to be able to relate to their neighbor. But we have those, people in office who've held the office who are probably your age or older. And it's kind of like there's time for change, and it's not being, addressed. So there's definitely the youth who wants to be heard, and they want to be heard through the ballot box, as well as taking on those roles themselves. I think the mayor of Baltimore, he seems pretty young, and he's been making waves, just change after change. And I think his city has the lowest crime rate in about a 50-year span, if I'm not mistaken.
Mhm.
So there are youth, making that change and trying to make this country better. So we have to have that, again, that ear of the older folks to listen and take into consideration what the youth can bring and will bring to the environment that we are in.
Again, you're I listen to you, man, and I have to pause for a minute because some people have it. You know what I mean by that?
Yeah.
It's like Whitney Houston, she's got it.
Right.
Tupac, he got it. And Chris Matthews, he's got it too.
Hey man, I appreciate you. I'm just trying to do my best out here.
Nah, you got it, brother. You got it. And when you come back on the show, hopefully you'll pull in your people. And I tell you, we're getting some comments here from your friend. Oh, well, another one. Nicole. Do you know Nicole? Janelle?
I'm not sure. Possibly.
No, she may be someone who tuned in. Janelle, hello. How are you? Thank you for tuning into the PA Empowerment Network. This is the Empowerment Show. My name is Kendall. I am the host of the show. Today, we have with us Chris Matthews Gentry.
It's Gentry, yeah.
Gentry. And he's my co-host today. And he's doing a wonderful and fantastic job. We'd love to see him come back again because we really need someone that will vibe and speak the same language as the youth. Now, he's young, yes, he is, but he has an ear. He's willing to be guided. He's willing to be focused. The young man, the last time he went on the show, I was so impressed. Now, let's try this one. How much school do you have? Education.
I graduated from the University of Pittsburgh with a Bachelor of Science in Information Science and a minor in French Language and Literature.
Now, I've been hearing people, some of the rappers and some of not to point at you, but some of them and some other people, African Americans, are telling you, you don't need to go to college. You don't need to go to school. And here's the funny thing. Here's the really, really irony of it. The majority of people that are graduating from college today are African American women. The sisters are doing their thing.
And have been.
Startup businesses, entrepreneurs, they are just doing their thing. So they're putting themselves out there to say, hey, I'm leading by example. They're not just talking about it, they're actually doing it. Things are happening. So what I like to see is all of us as this African society here in America kind of become that one tribe and kind of like help each other out. If the sister can help the brother, keep it moving. If the brother can help the sister, keep it moving, because together we can build strong families. We have the youth that will sit back and listen to the elders because they'll see what the elders have done, not what the elders say. This is not about do as I say. You understand? This is watch me. I've learned this and I've learned that, and I learned how to maneuver through this society. So what I want to do is teach you. That's what our job is. You understand?
Exactly.
So that's what your job is.
Right. Because
you're going to grab a hold of the youth. You're going to take them by the hand. And what does the young people say? You're going to school them.
Going to school them. Yeah.
I laugh because you do that every Sunday anyway, don't you?
Yeah. Sunday school. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
You see? Okay. So we're going to end this. We only do a half an hour show. We can go longer, but I just wanted to introduce you to the people so that next week when you come on, they won't be looking at my face. They'll be looking at yours. Give them a big smile. All right. Until next week, we're going to end this and we'll see you next week. Okay. It's all good. Thank you guys again for tuning into the PA Empowerment Network. My name is Kendall Stevenson. This is the Empowerment Show. And what we like to say is peace. Always be yourself because everybody else is taken.